and welcome back to another episode of Project Oarai. Now, we are finally going to be naming the city very shortly, but before we do actually get to that, I do want to just take some time out of the episode really quick, just like 5 or 10 minutes, just so we can go around the map and we can talk about a few other things. And I also want to kind of give some ideas on some up-and-coming episodes and just share a few things with you all and kind of see what you think. So yeah, let's just get to it to start with. If you're wondering, first of all, really quick, why my game looks so weird, it is because I play on lowish settings while I build, so I have as much FPS as I can. So yeah, if you're wondering why stuff looks weird, then that's why. So let's go over here to start with. Now, if you'll all remember, I started building this place a long time ago. Very long time. In fact, I started building this place instead of building the city way back when because I was just very nervous about building the city and I just didn't feel confident that I could even remotely build a city all that time ago. So this was kind of my stepping stone towards building a city. I wanted to test out some ideas, and like what I've said way back when, I also wanted to work at different heights like you can see now and kind of get a feel for it now rather than jumping straight in the deep end with a city, because I am going to be doing a lot more stuff working with different heights coming very soon in the city. But as you know, for right now we are kind of just filling out the beach side. But yeah, this was kind of my testing ground for different ideas, which I think a lot of them turned out really nice, which is really good. And one of the main reasons why I actually am over here is because way back when I never named this place and I didn't know what to name it. Now, I do want to say congratulations to Michael the Giant 1, because we're going to call this place Odori, and congratulations on that. And I just want to speak about really quick why I wanted to call this place Odori. One, I really liked it and it reminded me of some good old days in ESO with my friends. And not only that, it actually stands for Main Street. And I figured that that is such a fitting name because it is just two roads that come in, one that comes in and the other one that comes out. So it's like a main street in a way, right? So yeah, I figured it was very fitting for that. So yeah, congratulations to you. You've not named the city, but you've named another part of the map. So congratulations on that. Now, if we come out of this little viewing mode really quick, and we make our way over here. So, as you'll know, a long time ago, when I was doing the networks for the city, built this intersection that eventually it is going to lead to an airport over here, but the airport is going to be the very last thing that we ever build for Project Oarai. So the series will be officially done once the airport is done. And this is mainly because if I hit Control L, you'll see here we've got kind of the limits for the game. And I have a feeling that by the time that we're done with the city, we're going to be kind of close to these limits, to be honest, because as you all can see, the city is massive. So yeah. The city's very big, and that means we've got a lot of stuff to put in the city, which is going to be really awesome. But yeah, the airport is going to be the very last thing we do. Now, what I did want to talk about over here really quick, ignore what I've doodled over here. I know what it means. You guys might think it's a little bit weird, but I kind of know what it means. Now, I do have an idea for I want a huge, like what I've said in the past. Actually, let me just start like this. It'll probably be easier. I'm going to kind of bring the mountainside in here a little bit. And it's kind of going to curve around the city like this. And it's going to go back into the mountains here. So hopefully this gives you a good little like indication of kind of what my idea is. Because I also want to build, I've seen an area on Google Earth where it's a giant Japanese castle with a shrine, and it's got like a lake all around it. And it just looks really cool, and I think it'd be really interesting to build something like that in our city. So I'm thinking of putting it somewhere here. And we're going to obviously have like a train area here. And what I want next to this whole area here is I want a huge stadium. Like a sports stadium. And I want it to be massive, like the entire area for it to be huge. And I'm thinking of that going here, possibly. Ignore the roads. I'll probably take all these roads out. I don't even know what I was doing when I did them roads. But yeah, I'm thinking of putting a huge stadium area here. And obviously it's going to be close to Universal Studios, which I think I might have to increase the size of this because I've seen some of the assets that I've already got off the workshop. And I want to do a lot of PO work and a lot of custom stuff. And this isn't going to come anytime soon because I want to make sure that I've got everything available to make this place and everything that I might need to make this place before I start. I don't want to start it and then have to stop because I don't have the right stuff in mind. So this is kind of still on hold at the moment. I have got the majority of the stuff I do need. But yeah, we are going to have Universal Studios here. Big stadium here. Huge castle with a lake around it. There's going to be no vehicles in this area. You're just going to be able to walk around it. And then I want like a big residential high-rise, well, maybe medium density buildings all here, because I want to put obviously you go over here to the airport and you'll come in from the airport, so I want there to be a load of hotels. I don't know how I'm going to make these hotels. Might have to make them out of PO, or I might have to look on the workshop at some hotels and see what we can find, or some buildings that look like hotels, should I say. And not only that, but we're also going to have a mall section. And this mall section is going to be here on the right, because this is kind of an area from Google Earth, so I'm going to be kind of trying to do it sort of one-for-one-ish, because we're going to have like, we're going to have a big hotel that's going to be here, and then there's going to be a bridge that goes over this little tiny highway here, and then this train station is actually connected to the hotel here, as well as it comes out underneath on this lower section. So this is going to be completely made out of PO as well. Not only that, but like what I've done at this side of the map up here, I'm not going to go over there because I've already built the area, but I deleted when I was clearing some space. I deleted the part where I'm basically talking about right now. So I'm basically re-recording it. That's what I meant by just ignore this, I know what it means. But yeah, anyways, let me get back on topic. So this area here is, I basically want to do what I did over here, all the way over here at the start of the city, and that's, I want it to be low residential working its way into the city, because obviously this is going to be a load of malls, and it's going to look, they're going to be big buildings, obviously, and I want this beach section here to be kind of in use, if you will, because it's connected to the malls and whatnot. But then I want here, I want there to be a big river. Like, this is going to be a really wide river with a bridge that goes all the way across it. Don't get me wrong, it'll probably start here instead, like that. And then here, I'm going to go really hard on it being really rural. I want it to be basically like Nunoshida, so if we go over to Nunoshida, you'll be able to kind of get where I'm coming from. I want to do basically something like this, all the way over there, but instead of there being this many houses, I want there to be loads of loads of rice fields like this, and loads of water areas as well, with just a handful of houses scattered here, there, and everywhere. And I want some of them to be abandoned and like they're not in use. Like, oh, I think I've done one here. So there's like this one here. It's got a load of foliage around it. It's not in use at all. And I kind of want that, like this style, all the way over here. So I want to go big on the foliage and make it look really rural. Like, not many people live out here. And then it'll probably cut off into the mountainside or something here. But yeah, these are my plans currently. Like what I said, we've got a rural area going to go here, big river right here. I don't even know what I'm doing. We've got the huge Japanese castle, shrine area, stadium right here, Universal Studios, and these dock areas. I want to go really hard on there being like kind of specialized areas. Like, I'm thinking I figure out a way of how to get a train line into here, and maybe it deals with like rocks and ore and all that type of stuff. And then maybe over here is all dedicated to oil and all that type of stuff. Not really too sure, just kind of trying to throw some ideas, because I've seen this quite crazy stuff on Google Earth. So I'm going to try and do the same, and I am going to be redesigning this area here when we get round to it. I think this will probably be next week's episode, because I want this to follow, like, imagine this is the motorway, and I want it to follow like that. Yeah, kind of like that, because I want to throw in next week's episode, I want there to be... Oh, we're showing too much. I want there to be a big sports area here, with football pitches, tennis courts, and basketball courts, all that type of stuff. And then I want there to be a huge dock here like this. Yeah, kind of just like that. Yeah, just like this. Just like that, and there's going to be boats littered all the way across around here. And I think actually what might be kind of better is this actually comes out like this, and then maybe we do something like that, so the boats will go in to this area here like that, and then they'll just dock in. It'll be like big yachts, fancy speedboats, and just all that type of stuff here. I'm thinking we've kind of put like a yachts club down here or something, maybe with some hotels, because my whole idea for... Oh god, my game froze. Yeah, you can't see very much like this, but I want to put a load of hotels here, because I feel like with the episodes that we've done so far, we've kind of only focused on like just low residential and that type of stuff, and I think it might be cool if we put some big hotels here that are going to be used for the beach, and then you come down here and you've got all the sports facilities for them, and you've got like the country club and the yachts and everything basically here. And I just realized we're like 10 minutes plus into this and I haven't even started the episode, so I'm gonna cut it off here, and we're gonna just jump straight to... Oh, actually no, we can't jump straight to the episode. Ignore me. We haven't named the city. Oh my god. What am I doing? Okay. Wow, I can't believe I've made you wait like 10 plus minutes for the name of the city. I'm so sorry. As you all know, I ramble. I'm really bad for it. So let's get straight to it, shall we? Congratulations to the TheLoneSaiyanWarrior. I have gone with Taizan Name, because as you can see, we're going to have some big mountains at the back of this city, and I feel there were just so many great names, and every one of them was so catchy, but the mountain one really caught my attention, and it really has this whole time. So congratulations to the TheLoneSaiyanWarrior. We're going to call this city Taizan Name. But I also want to thank you as well, because you did put in your last message on my video explaining that the she basically stands for city. So I'm glad that you told me that, because I would have called it Taizan Shi City, which, as you already said, would have been, you know, the Great Mountain City, and that would have looked so awkward for the people that know that. So I want to thank you for educating me on that, and it's kind of taught me something as well, because I should really be looking a lot of this stuff up as well on my own time, because I should just know these things, right? As well, like, I should be looking into a lot of these things. So, anyways, I'm starting to ramble again. Thank you very much for sharing that bit of information with me. I really do appreciate it. And one more time, congratulations for naming this city. Now, let's actually get on with the episode, shall we? Okay, so here we are. We're finally at the episode. No more rambling, or maybe some rambling. I don't know. I guess I'll just have to see how I feel. But no, I just want to talk a little bit about the episode and just a few things, really, because I'm going to be doing quite a few different things in this episode, but also I'm going to be doing some things that are kind of very much the same. Like, I'm doing this little residential area at the moment, and I'm actually going to be doing quite a couple of these across the beachfront area, because it spans quite a distance, and I didn't want to just put loads of commercial in, because I just felt like it was a bit over the top. And I see on Google Earth as well that there is quite a lot of houses, like, everywhere, and even apartment buildings, which I know for me, I was shocked that they had like apartment complexes as far as pretty much on the beachfront itself, especially when right next to them were like a couple of abandoned buildings. And well, they looked like they were abandoned. They might not be, but yeah, they looked like they were just in bad upkeep. Let's just put it that way. So I've tried to do a similar thing here, but I've wanted to add in like little tiny neighborhoods instead. And I also want to make them look like they're actually in use and they actually work. So in quite a couple of them, I'm doing what I'm doing now. I'm putting a load of like bike racks down, because I see that they're very much into their bikes over there. They use them everywhere for transportation. So I'm going to try and use that as much as I can in the city as well as in these little neighborhoods as well. So I'm going to be filling out quite a couple of neighborhoods, and I'm not going to be detailing them super duper heavy like I've done in the past, because the episode would be too long. And I feel that even though I've said I want to do loads of detail in the city, I want there to be loads of detail, but I also don't want to spend loads of time detailing areas that are going to be seen for only a few minutes and stuff, when I think that maybe we can detail them to like a certain level. Like maybe we put like some bikes next to them, some boxes, some rubble, or a car in the driveway, and we just kind of call it at that. We don't go really over the top like I've done with the houses in Nunoshida and other places, where I've put loads of stuff down, because we've got a lot of neighborhoods to, well, I say a lot of neighborhoods. We've got a handful of neighborhoods to do along this beach line, and I don't want to take too much time up with doing that. So I'm gonna do like what you've seen me do earlier. I'm just gonna put some walls around it, some bushes down, some mud down, maybe a car here, there, and everywhere, and that's kind of about it. And I'm also going to be doing a lot of car parks, like the one, well, I say a lot of car parks, but I actually don't end up doing too many, because the size of them in the areas that I had available, and with the buildings that I wanted to put down, I didn't really have enough room for a lot of the car parks that I could see on Google Earth. So I settled for just a few car parks, and that was kind of it, really. Oh, there is actually one thing that I did want to talk about really quick, is Do you all prefer, like when I'm talking in the video, do you prefer there to be some music in the background on low volume to where you can just kind of hear it in the back of my voice? Or would you just prefer to have my voice with no music? I know it's kind of an awkward point to ask you 20 minutes into a video. You know, probably a lot of you have kind of just like skipped along and looked at parts that you want to look at. So yeah, if you're still listening now, let me know if you would prefer there to be music in the background or no music in the background. I have actually, because I've tested it in the past with music and without, and no one's really said anything. So I'm curious to see if people care or if they don't care. Now, we are going to be coming up on an area very shortly. This wasn't there on Google Earth. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I just needed an excuse to build one, and that is a fire station, because I figured this area is going to need a fire station kind of close-ish by. And I hadn't built one anywhere else yet. The last time I built a fire station, if you can remember, is in Nunoshida, and I built that big training area at the back of it. And there was loads of things on fire and firefighters everywhere, and I tried to do something with that which I thought would look really cool. And I wanted to kind of do the same thing with this fire station. Now, after I put these trucks in, you'll be able to see I've got the building that I used in Nunoshida, just because I think it's a really good building. It looks like a building that you would test stuff at, you know, like when you see on military bases, they've got like test buildings where they test breaches and all that type of stuff. And I figured this is a really good building for the fire station because it's got multiple heights, multiple staircases, so multiple points of entry. And it'd be really nice if I did like what I did in Nunoshida, where I put some barrels and some boxes on fire and we had firefighters here, there and everywhere. And we also had these towers that you can see that obviously help with the stamina of the firefighters going up all them floors with all the heavy equipment that they've got. And I figured it'd be really cool to build like these little test areas, so it actually, you know, it's not just a fire station placed down and then that's it. I thought it'd be really cool to build these little test areas on as well, so that there's a, you know, you can see that they do something else while they're here. I just thought it was a really cool idea. And eventually when we build a police station in the city, I want to do something very similar to this as well, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do it because I've not really built a proper police station. I've normally done like the little ones with like the cars outside and the cars round back and all that type of stuff. But yeah, going off topic a little bit now with other stuff, but yeah, I think it'll be pretty good maybe when we do get around to that. Now, there is one thing that I did miss out putting in the video. If you can see here to the right of the fire station at the bottom where the path is, you'll see that there's like a little underpass. Now, I did completely forget to put that in the video, but I'll briefly tell you right now just kind of how I made it. I used the footpaths and I made an elevation going down and then straight under. And then I used the plottable asphalt that you can see at the moment and I put it over the top so that the pedestrians will walk to the stairs, go down and then go underneath. And I used clipping, which is a surface that you can put on that will basically remove the look of the ground so you can see directly through the map. And then I use grass to cover it over because you can see just to the right a minute ago, you could see that there was another area to the sunken down part, but I hide that with grass a little bit later on. Okay, so we're kind of almost at the end of this fire station now. I think I just put down this tank, the fuel for the fire trucks, and then I just put down some big water containers so they've got water on hand. And then I just kind of put down a few other little things just to kind of flush out the area a little bit. I think I put down some bins, some rubble, and some little carts and whatnot. And then we move over to doing another residential block. Much like what I did in the past one I did, I'm just going to be throwing down some walls again and just throwing down some bushes and some trees along with some decals for the paths. Now, I don't really put any lighting down. I normally do quite a bit of lighting the majority of the time off camera, just because what I do sometimes is I record these areas and I build them and I do them and all that lovely stuff, and then I'll turn it off and I'll watch something while I'm kind of just like neating in everything, if you will. I've made all the walls in line and I do all that other stuff, just kind of fix things that bug me a little bit. And then I'm like, oh, a telegraph pole here would look kind of good, some benches here would, and the next thing I know, I've built a load of stuff that I shouldn't have built but needed to be put in regardless. And I do that kind of with this a little bit. I add in some telegraph poles. In fact, I do show some a little bit later on, but I also do a load across the beachfront section as well that I kind of did off camera. So there's just a little bit of a heads up for that as well. But I'm really liking this area, to be honest, because I've got this commercial area to the right, and I really wasn't sure. It just looks really odd to me, and I didn't like it. And then I had this idea for putting in this overgrown area at the back of them, and it just made me like the area. Sorry, all of a sudden. So I do make these pile of rubble a lot bigger off camera though, because when I was recording the cinematics, I didn't feel that you could see the rubble and waste that had just been thrown there. So I do increase the size of them off camera, which you'll get to see in the cinematics. But speaking actually of the cinematics, you'll notice they're a little bit longer this week than last week's one, and it's mainly because I'd recorded that many cinematics, because I record like about 20 different ones, and then I look at them in the editor and I see which ones I like and what I'm going to keep and what I'm not going to keep, and that way I've got angles of kind of everything and everything. But I liked a lot of them, and I figured that it might be cool if you guys got to see a load of them. So the cinematics are a bit longer this time, so I do hope you do enjoy that. And here is the telegraph pole. Excuse my language. I couldn't pronounce it for some reason. But yeah, I had this really cool idea of an area that I built at the in fact, it was in my very first episode. And I'd done these guys on this like telegraph pole as well, and it looked like they were doing something to it, and I thought it'd be really cool to do something very similar to that in this one. Kind of like a throwback in a way to my very first episode. Before I go, I do want to say I just want to talk about a few of the things coming up, because I'd like to talk about everything, but I don't. A lot of it is kind of just some of the same stuff, like residential stuff, a few commercial, and this and that. So I do want to say about the stuff that is coming up. We've got, like what I said, a few more residential. We also have an area that I was trying to give it the appeal of it is a sports facility in a way. I did like a basketball court outside the front of it, and then the building behind it. Not too big of one, but one to where maybe the locals go to. And nearby to it, I put like a warehouse. And right at the far right hand side of the beach, we do have a hospital. It's not a big hospital. I'd like to think of it as it's a hospital for like the elderly. It doesn't really cater to majorly injured people and stuff like that. It just kind of deals with the old and that type of stuff. So it's not a massive one, it's kind of a smallish one. But much like I did in my last episode, I didn't detail too much on the right side because I'm not sure if I'm going to change some stuff along that line. So it is kind of bare in a way. So if you're wondering why some parts over there kind of look like nothing much is going on, now you know why. And as for the beachfront, it's kind of the same as the beach that we've already done. There's just going to be a load of towels and umbrellas down and lifeguard towers and all that type of stuff. As well as I'd seen on Google Earth that there is this huge area carved out on the front that... So I tried my best to find some images on Google Earth. I should have kind of just looked on Google Images for the name. Maybe that would have come up with some better results at the time. But it looked like there was some sort of statue on the beachfront area. And I wanted to kind of change the beachfront area to kind of have something that kind of is to do with like shrines and historical stuff. So I put a load of some of that stuff down that I hope you can kind of see where I was trying to go with it. And I put down a load of facilities for people going to the toilet and loads of different changing rooms for people. Because as you've probably always noticed, if you've gone to a big beach and it's full at summertime, there is always a queue for the bathroom. So I've made sure that there should be hopefully no queues. So I'm going to disappear now and I'm going to leave you with the rest of the episode. And I just want to congratulate TheLoneSaiyanWarrior for naming the city and Michael the Giant One for naming one of the little villages that we have far off that eventually I will be getting back to at some point, because I do want to finish out the edges on that. So congratulations to you too. And like always, I'll see you all in the next one.
Bye.